The energetic and successful man is one who succeeds in transforming the fantasies of desire into reality. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. Rather than living our loves, we are lived by unknown and uncontrollable forces. We seek more to take suffering away from ourselves than to gain pleasure. A woman will never want sex with a man who doesn't get her hints. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves is that you in the past, and the only person better you should be, this is who you are now. People are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. The weakness of my position does not imply a strengthening of yours. Only the complete absence of sex can be considered a sexual deviation, everything else is a matter of taste. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or a low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. Unexpected emotions will never die. They are alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. We do not randomly choose each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious. The scope of one's personality is defined by the magnitude of that problem which is capable of driving a person out of his wits. You do not stop looking for strength and confidence outside, but you should look inside yourself. They have always been there. A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends, no flies fly to a boiling pot. We are so made that we can only derive intense enjoyment from a contrast and only very little from a state of things. If a woman no longer wants sex, it's a sign that soon she may start questioning her emotional connection with her male partner, reflecting on unfulfilled needs of unresolved issues in the relationship. The voice of the intellect is quiet, but it never tires of repeating, and listeners are found. We are never so defenseless as when we love and never so helplessly unhappy as when we lose the object of love or his love. Masturbation is one of the primary abodes, the primary addiction. Subsequent addiction, alcohol, tobacco, morphine are only its substitutes. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. We adults don't understand children because we don't understand our own childhood anymore. The most important part of your life is to understand yourself from the inside. Friendship is an art of keeping distance while love is an art of intimacy. A man sometimes more generous when he has little money than when he has much, perhaps to keep from thinking he has none at all. Conscious is the internal perception of the rejection of a particular wish operating in us. The only shame in masturbation is the shame of not doing it well. Limitations in the possibility of enjoyment raises the value of the enjoyment. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. The secret of the human soul lies in the psychic dramas of childhood. Get to the bottom of these dramas and healing will come. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Nothing costs so much in life as illness and ignoring an illness. A father's death is the most important event, the more heartbreaking and poignant loss in a man's life. Love in the form of longing and deprivation lowers the self-regard. Envy is destructive. Don't be tempted by it, live by your own rules. Humans' intrinsic nature manifests in its misunderstandings. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. A woman who lacks sex begins to talk more about sex. who lacks sex speaks about sex. Hungry talks about food, a person who has no money about money, and our oligarchs and bankers talk about morality. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. In the small matters, trust the mind, and the large ones, the heart. Every normal person is really only partly normal. Recognizing a problem is half the success in solving it. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. How bolden one gets when one is sure of being loved. Maturity is the ability to postpone gratification. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lack of shame.